Welcome to the Jehovih Chronicles with your host, Cosmon Cal.
That's right. Like I left something. You dig what I'm talking about? Like I forgot my wallet in this mug, man. Cosmon Cal right back at it. Hey, shit knocking your nerve fresh off of that curve. Jelly jam and preserve. Hey, your hostess with the mostest holding that fire like a roach clip, man. Right back at it with another very interesting topic, man. Y'all come on in. Make sure y'all hit the like button. You dig what I'm saying when you're coming in. Sub, like, share, man. Another interesting topic. This is Jehovah Chronicles number 257, Yellowstone. That's right. Yellowstone the park. Huh? Yellowstone. A lot of people been, if you've been watching the news, a lot of people is worried about what's going on in Yellowstone. As you're going to see, even the animals is getting up out of there. You dig what I'm talking about? And people are aware that animals are kind of clicked in with the environment, and they sort of get a heads up warning when things are going to go wrong. So when they start moving, people really start paying attention and start worrying. You dig what I'm saying? And without further ado, man, we're going to go ahead and check out homegirl Belinda. You dig what I'm saying? She got a real strong accent, so I'll try to break down what she's saying in the live. You dig what I'm saying? So let's cook. Right. This is Black Americans' reaction over Yellowstone Park. You dig what I'm talking about?
That people really need to take serious. Lovelies, I'm just going to roll the clip as well as some of other stitches I was able to put together. Please leave me your own thought in the comment section of what you think of this video.
As you see, these herds and herds of animals are pouring up out of Yellowstone. You dig what I'm saying? The buffaloes, the bears, the wolves, the mountain lions. You dig what I'm talking about? They getting together and they walking out. They ain't even messing with nobody. They just leaving. You dig what I'm saying? So people was up in arms about this. Check it out. Hold on. Let me turn it up a little bit. Let's go.
And please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. We're just here for educational and informative purposes.
Y'all do know that these animals are not fleeing Yellowstone Park just because, or it's migration season. And nobody. Look a little bit deeper at what's been going on in the world. Also, look a little bit deeper as to what's been going on in the United States. Let's not be.
You said look a little bit deeper. Let's go.
Ignorant to what is in our faces. These animals are fleeing Yellowstone Park because they know something is about to happen. Animals always know before we know when something is going to happen. You want to know why?
Is that true? Is that true, family? Shout out to everybody in there. What a praise great spirit up in this thing. T-Brew up in this thing. Early in the morning kicking clouds. You dig what I'm talking about? My big sis, Anna Tolson in here. Y'all hit me in the chat. Do the animals know about cataclysms before they happen? If yes, hit me with a 1 in the chat. Right? If the animals, if he's correct about that. James Giant say yes. Anna Tolson says yes. You do what I'm talking about? Is that true that the animals be knowing before even the humans do. Huh? Let's go back and see what he say one more time. Watch this.
United States. Let's not be ignorant to what is in our faces. These animals are fleeing Yellowstone Park because they know something is about to happen. Animals always know before we know when something is going to happen. You want to know why? Because they are closer to the creator than we are. You might say, well, I pray every day. I do it. No, the creation is closer to God than humans are closer to God. And so
is that true? All right. If y'all believe that the creation, listen to what he said, is closer to God, then man is closer to God. Is that true? If you believe that to be true, hit me with a 2 in the chat. If you believe that's true, hit me with a 2 in the chat. True. They say the animals is closer to God than man is to God. I see the 2s in the chat. Y'all rocking with that? Well, let me show y'all, brothers and sisters. You dig what I'm saying? That's incorrect. Right? First of all and foremost, you dig what I'm talking about? Let's go show why the misunderstanding or the understanding of why the animals seem to have a precognition or an ability to see what's coming in the future, or what we call today reading the vibe, right? They're able to read the vibe and to perceive things happening before they happen, right? Man calls this instinct, right? But let me show you. There is no instinct. Huh? Things only happen because the creator is there. Watch this. The Lord said, all the instinct that is in the bird, the beast, the fish, the insect, or the creeping thing was created with them. But look, but man was created a blank. Ain't that true? A baby come out, a baby rabbit come out and never see a fox. You dig what I'm saying? It don't know what a fox is. But day one, you never have to teach it to run. A baby, on the other hand, will stick its finger in a light socket and stick the other one in a rattlesnake's mouth. Why? Because it is blank. It is devoid of knowledge, right? Just like a baby. A baby don't know anything, right? And the thing that it does seem to know already came with it, like breathing, right? And then the creator do that for you. Just think about if you had to think about breathing all the time. Right? Look, these instincts that these birds and fish and insects and creeping things got, these buffalo, these wolf that's coming up out of Yellowstone Park, right? Man shall attain to more subtle senses than any other living creature, right? And to go on, Creator says, you have put me away. And y'all said that there was a natural law. Ain't they talking about evolution and natural selection and natural law, and there's a moral law, huh? Right? Even in our state laws, there's a quote unquote moral law. They say God got a divine law. Y'all put the creator away and say the animals have instinct? Huh? You think man looks back upon his actions all by himself, does all that, get to thinking into his stores of himself on his own? Huh? You call it reflecting. Creator called holding up the mirror. Huh? Here's another one. Y'all said I had an intuition. My conscience told me. Man, my gut told me not to go over there. My intuition. Y'all call it second sight. I say to you, I have abolished all these things. I will have them no more forever. Listen to what the Creator say. I have no laws. I do by virtue of my presence. So what he's saying is the only reason that anything happens is because he's there to make it happen. So when you're asking yourself, well, how does 2 parts of hydrogen mix with an oxygen? He says it's only happening because I'm there. What you mistake as power, what you mistake as energy, force, are aspects of the Creator. It only happens because he's there. You see the difference? Right? Look what Creator say. I gave no instinct. Look, I gave no instinct. So if y'all thought it was instinct, you did what I'm talking about. That was leading these animals up out of there. You did what I'm talking about. You're wrong. Because he said I created no instinct. There ain't no instinct to any creature under the sun, man included. Why do they do what they do? Because by my presence, they do what they do. Because I'm there. I gave no tuition. I gave no intuition. I am the cause to all and for all. Right? He also goes on to make another statement that, you dig what I'm saying? That the animals are closer to God. Now I understand what he's trying to say, right? But what y'all got to do is look at it like this. Animals are made as a glass already full. It does exactly what it does. A lion doesn't do any more than what a lion does. Cat don't do more than what a cat do. Dog don't do more than what it. Fish don't do more than what fish do. They are perfect in their order. They are glasses all the way full. But man, he is like a glass empty. Ain't a baby born with devoid of knowledge. It don't know its race. It don't know its species, its heritage, its culture, its nationality, or its name. Nor does it have speech. But if Creator created this instinct and man was like the animals, right? Well, a baby would already be wise because it would already know not to stick its finger in a rattlesnake mouth and its other finger in the light socket, correct? And yet the baby is devoid of knowledge because it is a thing created empty. You were supposed to pour in and fill yourself up forever. And because Creator, unlike the animals, right, created you a blank, he allows you to pour into yourself and fill yourself forever. Let me show you. How can, first of all, think about this. He conflated creator and God, right? We know God is a one-time living, breathing man, correct? Let me show you that man is closer to God than the animals, right? How can a part of the creation, right, that is controlled by God be closer to God, right, when man literally turns into God? The thing that turns into God, man, is closer to God than the things that are ran by God, like animals. Why? Because man was made to turn into God. Let it sink in. Huh? Don't believe Cosmon? I'm going to let the creator tell you. Watch this. Book of Inspiration. But because I made man with the capacity to receive inspiration from all things, his environment, people around him. You dig what I'm talking about? Because I created him with the capacity to receive inspiration from all things, he manifests both good and evil. According to his birth and his surroundings, so is man good or bad. Y'all following me? But watch this. Let me show you. Man is closer to God than animals are closer to God. Watch this. Nevertheless, I created man. What happened? He created man with the capacity to comprehend this also. Animals can't comprehend the fact that you are what you eat. You are who you around. You are how you act. Animals can't comprehend that, but only man he created to comprehend that. Why? For so I designed. Hold on. So before man was created anywhere, he designed him. Right? This is before birth. This is before spirit. This is the whole purpose of what a man does. He designed him, look, from the start, to work his way up to the Godhead. Man's whole purpose is to work himself up to the Godhead. If you see that now, hit me with a 3 in the chat. Man's whole purpose is to turn into God. So a thing that doesn't progress, has no instinct, isn't intelligent all on its own, can't be closer to God, because God, right, is a one-time living man, right? Why? The creator designed him from the get-go to do what? To understand everything below him. That is a God. See, man is like a seed of God. Man is like a seed of God. Right? Just like and just like the seed or man goes through stages and the seasons and all that go through stages, and there are states of matter and they go through stages, so is man. Check this out. Just like there are states of matter, right? Solid, liquid, gas, plasma. Man is in the same order. This is man in his corporeal sense. He would be solid. This is man in his atmospheric self, right? Or that breath They talk about that ruah, huh? That thing that's powerful but unseen, right? That would be his liquid state. But then there's a higher state than that. That would be the gaseous state or your spiritual state. Now, do y'all understand what I just said? Solid, liquid, gas, huh? Man, huh? Spirit, soul, or you could go like this. Oh, I speak, spirit, atmospheric, corporeal, right? But what happens, right? And if spirit is compared to oxygen or air or the gas, right? What happens when you ionize gas? Anybody know what happens when you ionize gas? It turns into plasma, right? These are the states of matter. Solid, liquid, gaseous, plasma. This is your physical body. This is the atmospheric power source of you, that energetic, electromagnetic, liquid source. But then there's a higher state, a spiritual state, and it's like the gas, right? But when you ionize, right, in a sense, electrify or irradiate gaseous material, it turns into plasma by losing an electron. But this would put you on a high spiritual rate. This turns you into God. This is spiritual, etheric. So you got corporeal, atmospheric, spiritual, etheric. Man goes through these same stages: childhood, right? Adolescence, adulthood, old age, right? This is your physical death, right? Birthed into the physical, die out the physical. Birthed into the atmospheric, die out the atmospheric. Birthed into the high heavens, die to the high heavens, to the third heavens, and then go what? Etheric. Why do we say in this state equates to God? Because what does plasma produce? Power and light. In a sense, don't they always say that's God? Did he not say, I am the light and the way in the Bible? Did he not say, I produce the light and the dark? So light and dark are aspects of this God, who they confusing with the creator. We know that, but we understand what God is. We just showing you man is a seed of God. When you put him in the dirt at his death, he grows into a spiritual tree, right? And when it's firm in its rooting and understands all below him, it produces fruit, right? Those fruits are good deeds and actions towards man, but The harvesting of that fruit are me and you, right? So he can start us on this path when we die. You dig? Atmospheric, spiritual, etheric, right? Remember the old saying, they tried to bury us, but didn't realize we were seeds. What do you think you grow into? What do you think you grow into? Right? Why? Because the Creator designed you. Every man, every woman, from the very beginning, from the start, before the earth was made, before our solar system, before the galaxy, he created you to work your way up to God. So God is a thing, it's a title, it's a job, it's a position that is earned by what? By work. Let's get back to some of this. All right. So I just wanted to explain that and show y'all. I know it sounds good, but the thing that turn into God is closer to God than the thing that God controls. All right. For instance, the engineer or the science student who turns into the engineer, right, is closer to the engineer than the watch that the engineer makes. Feel me? Let's go. Let's show this.
So they know that something is about to happen in the earth because God, animals always know before we know when something is going to happen. You want to know why? Because they are closer to the Creator than we are. You might say, well, I pray every day. I do it. No, the creation is closer to God than humans are closer to God. And so they know that something is about to happen in the earth because God has told them something is about to happen. You might say, well, God is not talking to the animals. He does. They know. So essentially what the prediction is that this super volcano in Yellowstone is probably about to do something crazy. And if it does, we do know that that would cause catastrophic damage to the U.S., which in biblical terms makes a lot of sense for the U.S. because I just don't see the U.S. in Bible prophecy. And if it is, as I always say, it is New Babylon. However, whether it's New Babylon or whether it's not in Bible prophecy, we know if it is New Babylon, it's supposed to fall. And if it's not in Bible prophecy, that means it's not in Bible prophecy. We know that means the U.S. will cease to exist. Very strategic for the U.S. to be placed with this Yellowstone Park. We have the New Madrid fault line. We have the San Andreas fault line. There's just a lot we have wars and threats of nuclear war. It's very interesting that we have so many different things that can end the U.S., under the U.S., around the U.S. So it's very interesting to me what is going on in the world right now. Now, let me just remind y'all that this is the kill zone of if Yellowstone erupted. All that red that you guys see, that it will take out everything there. If it flows out, yes, they will still be affected. And so this is a pretty big thing. This is
So what you gonna do? You gonna cry? You gonna run? Are you gonna run? Are you gonna leave America? Sound like you scared. If it's gonna do all that, what you scared for? Where you gonna run? Where you gonna run? Right. Let's go back into a little bit on this instinct real quick. Right? Let's clear it up some more. The Creator said, right? This is the book of Seth-on-Tes 8 and 9. Right? The Creator said, I have provided all the living with certain paths to travel in. But who? Man alone. That means ain't nobody, no other anything but a man or a woman that he created new. Uh-oh. Out of all things that preceded him, dead and dissolved. For instance, do you know you got mercury in your body? Mercury kills you. Why do you have mercury in your body? Balanced so well that you can't live without it. Why do you have radio isotopes in your body that should kill you, but they don't? Carbon isn't living. Oxygen isn't living. It's not alive. You need it to breathe, to be alive, but it's not alive. Nitrogen, not alive. Hydrogen, not alive. Copper, not alive. Phosphorus, not alive. Potassium is not alive. Nothing on the electromagnetic spectrum or on the chemical chart is a living being. It doesn't move and think on its own. He said, I created man out of that. Is man not created out of everything on the periodic table? Are those things not dead? Somebody grab me a little bit of oxygen and some hydrogen out the air. Is it not dissolved? Is man not made of elements? Well, yes, he is. And guess what? They're dead and dissolved. Creator said, I made you out of them. And because I did that, you shall grow forever. To the beast, to the bird, to the buffalo running up out of there, to the wolves running up out of Yellowstone. I gave an already created sense, this so-called instinct. But to man, I allotted what? Angels. And even these angels, ashars, I have provided them with other angels above them, called asas. And yet other angels above them, called Louise. And other angels above them, and other angels above them. Till you get to God. And guess what? It's somebody above God to tell God what to do. Why? Because it's go on forever and ever. It's system and order. Thus, the first of man, the newborn baby, I created a blank in sense and judgment. Is the baby a blank? Does the baby come out knowing anything? No. Doesn't know anything. Doesn't know to breathe. It doesn't even know to cry. It just cries. Right? That's built in it. It already came with it. That is intelligence. Remember, intelligence comes from inside. Right? This misnomered instinct. Creator said he ain't make it. That's actually him. You call him conscious only because you dog and you haven't seen into or out of yourself. Right? He said, I created a blank. I created the newborn, thus the first of man, the baby, the newborn. I created a blank in sense and judgment. A baby has no judgment, has no sense. so that he may be witness that even he himself was fashioned and created anew, brand new. This is another reason why it ain't gonna be no more yous. Ain't gonna be no more Selahs. Ain't gonna be no more Cosmons. You hear me? Ain't gonna be no more Prince Judavans. That's it. Don't matter if he have 1,000 kids. None of them are going to be him. Why? Because he creates you anew. Right? And from the very moment of your conception, he sparks you with a new spirit. Created anew by his hand. And he said, nor did I create him imperfectly. I ain't messed up nothing. I ain't tripping. Nor did I create him imperfectly, that he should re-enter a womb and be born over again. That which I do is well done. That means the whole, I'm reborn, I died 5 times, come back 6 times, 7, that doesn't happen. Right? Especially not in the physical. So what are we talking about? This is where you get your 7 heaven and is the God number, right? You died 3 times. In the heavens. Before you ever leave up out of here, you died 3 times, birth 4. This is where you get your God number at, your 7. Let's cook a little bit more. Let's see what they talk about.
Better map because it shows you in different colors. Mostly the whole entire United States is affected by this. Yellowstone National Park is home to scenic mountain ranges, majestic geysers, and a sleeping giant known as a super volcano. Mind you, it's capable of a magnitude 8 eruption, that's the super of it. Now, I just want to head back to the animals real quick. We do know that the creation worships God. And this is Revelation 5. It says that, and I heard every creature in heaven and on earth, under the earth and in the sea, all of them saying to him who sits on the throne and to the Lamb, be blessing and honor and glory and might forever and ever. Remember, that is also the animals. It's kind of like the Lion King when he's holding up Simba and they all come. Like Jesus is that Lion King. Like all creation.
But why would you wait on another man to try to come and save you? Look at what the true Lord said. This your bro, by the way. The Lord God. These your ancestors. What do you think grandma turns into? You think she just died like a dog? She in hell? They tell you, oh, it's a state of mind. Well, if it's a state of mind, you know, like I know your grandmama was a Christian, nigga, and she believed in heaven. So if that's the state of mind she perpetuated here on earth, well, you bound to what you bound to here, you bound to there. You don't get to kill down here, and not still have to retribute and repay back for all them deaths. You don't rise no higher. You ain't instantly holy just because you did. No, you don't get away with it, is what it is. You gonna pay back for what you messed up in this world or the next, and it don't matter. Creator got all day. Look what the real Lord said. Because you have depended on me for all things. Talking to the Irons, the mound builder style. Because you depended on me for all things, you did not develop yourself because you was leaning on Jeebus. Jeebus. Oh, heaven, Lord. If you was leaning on the arm of Lord, when you was walking on the beach and you seen 4 feet, and then you seen 2 feet. Huh? You didn't know it was Jesus riding your ass like a horse. Huh? You thought he was carrying you. No, he was holding you down. Why? Because you didn't develop yourself. Why? Come on. What we got to do? From now on, huh? From now on, that means forever. Man shall learn to face the evil on his own count. That even means for your sins. Huh? That means that turn of the cheek shit in this world. Oh, it's a time and place for that. Sometimes you gotta throw your hands up. I don't want no smoke, dog. I don't want no smoke. You dig what I'm saying? But it's sometimes also you must learn to overcome evil on your own account. And until you do that, you can't approach the Godhead. You don't have enough knowledge to overcome evil without hurting them, or with hurting them, or with controlling them. However you got to do it. You don't have the wherewithal. Why? Because you didn't start here on earth. You was waiting for Jesus to pay for your sins. Creator don't teach us to be no punks. You turn the other cheek if you want to. He tell us you got to learn to face evil on your own, and if it's self-defense, we with all that. No, we don't go out looking for it, but we'll put these hands and feet up on you, and then once we black your eye, we'll give you some frozen peas to help you with that. That's Cosmon. That's balance. I got to be able to get home every night. I got kids who depend on me. I got a wife who depend on me. I got grandchildren who depend on me. I'm not going to let your evil take me up out of here. I'm willing to deal with every consequence. So I can get home at night. Right? Why? Because if you can't do it here, you can't do it there. Why? Otherwise, he cannot attain to the Godhead in heaven. Notice, a lot of fear base. Oh, you're gonna die. Yellowstone.
Creation worships, all creation worship. That's the trees, that's the stars, that's the moon, that's the animals. They know. So if you see the animals acting weird, like they have been over the past several years, then you got to know something major is coming. Specifically, right now, we're talking about Yellowstone Park.
Leaving Yellowstone Park, they've been leaving for a reason. And the reason is they know much more about what's about to happen than we know. So they're saying that a gaping hole filled with milky blue water just appeared in Yellowstone Park. I don't think you heard.
Now listen.
Heard what I just said, right? And you ask why the animals are leaving? Apparently y'all don't know that there's a super volcano under Yellowstone Park. And if this super volcano erupts, it will trigger over 10,000 volcanoes in the United States. And those animals walking out of there and leaving is telling us that something in there is going wrong. While we're paying attention to everything that's...
Now, we're not denying that. But do you feel the fear based? It's the Yellowstone. You know why they so worried about it? Because you let white boys gas you up. Because why? You don't have any actual knowledge. You're just in fear. You're worried about what's going to happen in the future. Huh? Did you know this? That over 86,000 earthquakes have been detected on the Yellowstone using AI? Huh? Did you know that? Watch this. Watch this. Scientists at the University of Western Ontario in Industrial University of Santander in Colombia and the United States Geological Survey have used artificial intelligence to identify over 86,000 earthquakes in the Yellowstone Caldera region between 2008 and 22. That's 10 times more than previously recorded using traditional methods. So using the traditional methods, they didn't know that 86,000 earthquakes was happening. So what was happening in, let's go back 12 years, 10 years, or let's go back 12 years. What was happening then? Let's go back to 2010. Don't you think it was 86,000 then too? Let's go back to 2000. Don't you think it was 86,000 then too? They just couldn't read them. Huh? Well, what was going on in 1970? Don't you think it was 86,000 seismic earthquakes then too? Why would it change? Huh? Fear. That's why. Huh? Oh my God. You're gonna die, so you better praise Jesus. See the trick? Hold on, let me show y'all. Let me blow that up a little bit. Huh? In the last 14 years, that's 10 times more than they could record with traditional methods. So that they was recording 8,600, but it was really 86,000. That's been going on. Huh? Been going on. Long time them. This is why I wrote Yellowstone. Should you worry? Right? This ain't the first time this has happened. Huh? This ain't the first time that people been so gassed up in hysteria and hysterical that, you know what I mean? Oh, it's the end of the world, Cosman. God is coming back on a horse with a sword, and he got a name you don't know. Huh? Guess what the faith is going to be asking? This nigga cracked the sky. Guess what we going to be asking? Who is that nigga on that nag? Because we know that's Luamon. Oh, remember that name that don't nobody know that he has written across the side that don't nobody know? It's Luamon, the light bearer. Funny, got the same expression as Lucifer. Wait till you find out that Shaitan is the God of your Bible, aka Luamon, aka Lucifer, aka Serapis, aka Jeebus, as his physical representation was a literary invention. This ain't the first time you niggas been spooked out. Remember, y'all was just spooked out about the lunar eclipse last year on the 8th. I had to do a whole video to tell y'all I'm more powerful than your God and I know more than your God because ain't nothing gonna happen. A year and a half later, we still here. You niggas been spooky a long time. And now you ignorant on top of spooky. Uh-oh. You don't want me to talk to you like that, do you? But it's only because of fear. The lack of knowledge. That you are so fearful. Look. Book of Thor. Right? 6 and 3. so great became the superstition of the nations of earth about Yellowstone. First of all, where niggas gonna run? We come from North America. We don't come from anywhere else. We don't come from Africa. Nowhere else. We right here. So superstitious became the nations of the earth in that day that in the fall of a leaf or in 86,000 tremors, they found proof of the second coming of Apollo or Thor or Jebus or Buddha or Brahma or Allah or Christ. Starting to sound familiar? Many of the spirits deserted the second resurrection in heaven and returned to the earth to wait for information concerning the coming event. This big old caldera blowing up. As they supposed. Though there was no event coming. Why? Because the same thing been happening over and over and over and over. You just now becoming aware of it and you got spooked. The Creator said all corporeal worlds pass through the age of too much belief. And we in the time of belief right now. Didn't I break down the time of Sutta? Basically from 2020 to 2031, the 11-year sun cycle. 2019 to basically 2020, 2031. All corporeal worlds, all earths go to the age of too much belief. As I gave man judgment, discernment, so that he could examine and weigh a matter, so does he run to unbelief. I don't believe none of this shit. All the God's faith. Right? Man just thought that up all on his own, Cosmon. I hear Sonetta and all them say that stuff. I thought, man just thought that up all on. Well, why ain't you smart enough to imitate the God? And you come up with your own book. You ain't that wise? I'm telling you, no man could write a wasp. The nigga who published it said, I ain't know this. I ain't know none of this, cuz. And if so you trying to tell me these white boys, these Jews who put this book together, they were smarter than all you niggas? You wasn't smart enough to put your own together in your favor? And yet you crying over them? I ain't trying to hear it. Because the whole world go through an age of too much belief. As I gave man judgment so that he could examine and weigh a matter, so does he run into unbelief. But then, what happens? Then, my angels, Oh, angels ain't real. The angels is a little higher than the man. Yeah. Ain't the liquid a little higher than the solid? Ain't the gas a little higher than the liquid? Ain't the plasma a little higher than the gas? It's rhyme and reason. Stages and seasons to this. Bars. Then my angels go to him and show him where he believed too little. Below, niggas go in the other extreme. It's all over. It's the Yellowstone caldera. Believe in all things, but not using his judgment. If the animal's going and it's going to affect the whole United States, where are they going? Don't you think it's going to take some years for them to get there walking? Look what the Creator say. Look what true God say. True God, big bruh say, the brother, God, the brother, not the father. This is what you turn into. Why will men and angels not be patient? Huh? And wait till a matter is proven meritoriously, huh? Before they pursue it to extremes. The same sun shines. The same stars stand in the heavens. And the earth travels steadily on her way. And guess what? There's been 86,000 tremors in the caldera forever. The same sun, same stars, same moon, same earth, same space. There ain't nothing changing. How long Jeebus supposed to been coming back? When is Osiris gonna take some niggas to the bulrushes? Anybody heard from Zeus lately? Any Allah around here? Hey guys, seen Allah? Been the end time about 2,000 years, ain't it? I thought he said the kingdom was at hand. He must not have been talking about his hand. Let your hands in the hands of the man who steal the waters, Galilee. Boom, 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 Galilee. Y'all don't know nothing about that. Y'all ain't grow up in church for real. Nigga, I was indoctrinated. Remember them beasts from the end times? Remember the horde riding the beast of Babylon? Nigga, the same sun shines, the same stars in heaven, the same earth travels steadily on her way. Yes, her winds blow, her summers and winters come, as in ancient times. And yet, niggas set up a notion that a great wonder is coming at hand. It's about to be the end of the world. Cosmos, the Canaanite gods are coming. But look what he say. But no wonder comes. No caldera blows up. And nothing new is near. Come on, man. We cooking. Right? We gonna get up out of here. Right? We gonna get up out of here. I'm not gonna browbeat nobody. You dig what I'm talking about? Oh, this another one. Got them scared. Y'all go check this out. Y'all go check this out. Did y'all know that there were fires in the Grand Canyon? Who knew that? Big crazy fires. In Coconino County in the Grand Canyon. Right? They just had an earth slide in the Pacific. I'm going to do a live on that too, because I think they're going to find pine. It's a giant space up under the ground. 1,800 feet. What is it doing? Buildings with spaces in them. Cosmon told y'all, your so-called Atlantis, your so-called Lemuria, your so-called Mu is in the Pacific. It is the floor of the Pacific. When the earthquakes came, liquefaction happened. Many of those buildings sunk before the land did. That means they still there. But since we on this kick, you know what I mean? I won't scare you spooky ass niggas anyway. Y'all don't believe in the creator. Like he don't got this stuff under control. You dig what I'm saying? Since you refuse to believe that this thing got mathematics, system, order, beauty, symmetry behind it, and a mind running this thing. He said, I began the march of this light in the east. I will finish it in North America. But if this scare y'all niggas into loving each other, I'll terrify you niggas. Huh? Yeah, we gonna whoop the chop out on you. Run, niggas, run!
Right now, in the United States, one of the world's largest volcanoes is gearing up to explode. It's known as the Yellowstone volcano. And it's not just any regular volcano. Nope. It's a super volcano. If Yellowstone decided to erupt, the results would be devastating. But how bad would they be? Is there anything we can do to stop it? Would it affect the...
Hold on, didn't Creator tell us to overcome evil all on our own? How you gonna do it? How you gonna overcome evil without love? If this spooks you into loving your brother, man, I'm telling you, this why they call me Cosmon Kruger, Freddy Big Brother. I'll terrify you niggas. You gon' act right. You gon' learn. You ain't gonna be here. Huh? Wu-Tang said it the best. My seeds marry his seeds, marry his seeds. That's how we keep faith money all up in the family. Huh? Shout out to JBC. Shout out to my nephew, Ashar. You dig what I'm talking about? Boy, I'm about to have a crew of killers. Thugs. For the creator. With Suis. Huh? This why the babies is the focus. Because the faith is just keep winning. Have you noticed? Even when it's hard times, we up. We don't lose. Why? Because the creator is undefeated. Cower, niggas. Cower. But you gonna learn to love me. I'm gonna learn to love you. Or none of this works. None of it works without us and our focus on them babies and locked in to do it, because that is the good thing to do. That is the way of the creator. Do that good work for somebody else. Huh? This why they call me Freddy Big Brother, young Cosmon, the cloud kicker, huh? Young Kruger. Freddy Big Brother. Because if I gotta spook you niggas, trust me, terrify you.
entire world? And how would this change our weather? This is What If. And here's what would happen if the Yellowstone volcano erupted tomorrow. Located in Wyoming in the United States, Yellowstone has erupted 3 times in the past 2 million years. This has led some people to wonder whether we should be worried about another Yellowstone.
Just a quick, they said 2.15 million years, 2 million years, but through the Cosmon theory of rational carbon dating, you dig what I'm talking about? That would only be about 48 to 52,000 years ago. Let that sink in. 48 to 52,000 BC. They saying 2.2 million. Actual Earth say 50,000. Every 100 million years carbon dated is 24,000 actual years. So this thing that they say happened 2 million years ago, roughly only about 48,000.
Yellowstone eruption in the near future.
If y'all want to see my breakdown on rationalizing carbon dating and the Cosmon theory of rational carbon dating, y'all go back. I think it's like 190 or something. It's in the 100s. I want to say 190-ish, 180-ish. You dig what I'm talking about? It's the Cosmon theory of rational carbon dating. Just go on to the thing and I'll break it down and show you why it lines up with Earth time. And then I use the sun and the moon and things that are commonly known on Earth to date them. You can do this for the Earth and you can do this for man on Earth, and they line up perfectly. Just check it out.
And by near future, we mean probably in another couple 100,000 years. But instead of waiting so long, why don't we find out what would happen if the eruption took place tomorrow? If you live in North America, there would be virtually nothing you could do to prepare. Now that this supervolcano has exploded, well, first, what makes Yellowstone a supervolcano anyway? Well, apart from it being larger in size, a supervolcano also produces a much more massive explosion. Most of the time, when we think of a volcanic eruption, we think surrounding area. Well, while that would happen at Yellowstone, and it is something you'd need to worry about, it wouldn't be the only thing. In fact, the lava pouring out of the volcano might be the least of your worries. Surprisingly, there wouldn't be much of it. At least not as much as you'd expect from a supervolcano. That's because before lava leaves a volcano, it's first known as magma. But in this case, a lot of Yellowstone's magma won't be able to become lava. That's because it will be shot up into the sky, becoming airborne ash particles. And it won't just be any type of ash. These will be tiny, scorching little particles of jagged rock. Now this would affect nearly the entire United States.
Wasn't we just breaking down corporeal, liquid, gaseous, plasma?
And Canada. Tens of millions of people within 1,000 kilometers of the eruption would die. If you breathed the ash, which would be inevitable in a scenario like this, it would form a cement-like mixture in your lungs, causing you to suffocate. Buildings would collapse as just 30 centimeters of ash is enough to cave roofs in. And you'd still be in trouble, even if you were outside that 1,000 kilometer range. Experts say that even the east coast of the United States would be covered with 1 centimeter of ash, which would still be incredibly dangerous to our human lungs. Even parts of Europe would see some ash, maybe a light dusting. And that wouldn't be the only effect they'd experience. Apart from the deadly ash everywhere, the entire world would experience a temperature drop. The ash lingering in the air would block out the sun, resulting in significant weather changes. The global temperature would drop by 10 degrees, an effect which could last as long as a decade. The ash would also affect crops, water supply, and virtually everything else in the western part of the world. So,
are you afraid? Are you not entertained?
Although you'd probably survive the initial explosion, you'd eventually suffer the consequences of the ash. Whether that means dying relatively quickly or living long enough to experience a colder, harsher world. Luckily, you can take a deep breath of ashless oxygen knowing that something like this will probably never happen, at least not in our lifetime. An eruption like this at Yellowstone would be known as a supervolcanic eruption. A more likely explosion at Yellowstone would be a hydrothermal eruption. This mainly involves a lot of steam and some rocks hurtling through the air. Although something like this would be bad, it wouldn't be nearly as scary as what we're getting here. A more likely eruption at Yellowstone would be a relatively simple lava flow. In fact, since the last major explosion, 600,000 years ago, we've had nearly 50 of these eruptions and 0 casualties. We know one way to almost certainly get killed by lava, and it involves dropping your trash into it. But that's a story for another What If.
Yeah. Are you afraid? Are you scared? Must they call the boogeyman Jesus? Come turn this water into wine. Yeah, y'all afraid yet? Now that you know this thing happened 50 times, y'all didn't even know. Don't let these people spook you. Right? Oh, the instinct of the animals, they hear from the creator. They do exactly the will of the creator. Right? It explained that. But remember, he was talking about having this new sense. Just like, sort of like the animals. What is that new sense called? Today, in the Cosmon era, in this era of information, we call it clairvoyance, clairaudience. Book of Knowledge, 3 and 67. The time of preaching and believing is at an end. It's over with. That's why Cosmon come like he do. Y'all be thinking I'm supposed to be up here holy, and you dig what I'm talking about, on my knees, holy, 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 and like these whole ass niggas just in these churches, in these synagogues. The synagogues of Satan. In these stupas, and you dig what I'm saying? Creator said, man, you. Listen, the whole point I even brought Owash was for you to be able to attain to hear the creator's voice in real time, to see the creator's heaven in real time. No prayer, no meditation, no going inward to look outward to cosmos. You don't have to sit in a lotus posture and throw your mudras. No, nigga, in real time, right now. Why you think he sent thugs to teach this? Because we knew, he knew y'all niggas slippery like eels. He just need people to punch on you. We don't care about none of what you talking about. Because everything we saying, we can show. Ain't they talking about a sixth sense today? Wasn't there 5 previous ones? Well, what's this new one? This time all this preaching, Creplo, Joel Osteen, what's the fat nigga name? TD Jakes. All that's over with, cuz. Man shall know by his own knowledge. And because they don't know, they fear. Remember, knowledge is what? Power. Power alleviates what? Fear. Hit me with a 5 in the chat if y'all following me. Man gonna know by his own knowledge, not what a nigga done told him, not what he believe, not by his emotion or subjectivity. Man gonna know by his own knowledge and practice what he know. He gonna practice what he preach. He ain't just gonna be talking it. In this, my life is being manifested today. This is why they call it the information era, because niggas ain't just talking about it. We creating it. But remember, they was talking about that new sense. What is that new sense called? Tay, or all righteous man. You dig what I'm talking about in the Cosmon era? And who said? Who said? Cosmon said. Tay, the idea of all good people, right? Represented as one good man. This is how they look at us. Right? This is how the creator look at us. As one good person. Ain't no difference. Ain't no separation. Because it's good people in every race, every color, every creed. They are called Te. The good ones are. Te, all the good faith is called this new sense suis. Why? Because it is spirit seeing, clairvoyance. And it is spirit hearing, clairaudience. We call it suis, or the sixth sense. And Te comprehended that things in proximity leave an impression to each other, which impression can be read by the suis sense. This is what they're mistaken as instinct. Remember, who teaches a goddamn duck that is September and it's time to fly south? He reads the vibe. That is clairvoyance, clairaudience. Huh? Right? You can get it just like Owaspi says, prophecy, which is what this is. It's not guesswork. Ain't no trick to it. Watch this. Hold on. Why is this going so slow? Watch this. Watch this. What I tell you? Huh? Prophecy. What it say? Let me blow it up for you. Prophecy is not guesswork. Ain't no guessing in what we doing. I ain't guessing. I don't. If you notice, I ain't said I believe or I think or I heard. Why? Because this ain't guesswork. I'm not thinking that ain't nothing gonna happen. I know for a fact. These little things, you dig what I'm talking about, like lava flows and all that stuff happen regularly. All this stuff happen regularly. You just don't see it. Because most men's life is too short. You dig what I'm talking about? Their lifespan is too short to see it happen multiple times in a lifetime. We've had 50 of these. So that means, guess what? The animals then walked out 50 times and walked back. Prophecy is not guesswork. Absolute rules like math govern all things. A few individuals in a nation or a people or a small matter. No, let me go down. Nor must the prophet be swayed one fraction by the pretensions of a people. For example, the Brahmins, Buddhists, Muhammadans, and Christians all profess faith in their respective gods and saviors, but their professions are false. Their faith is in soldiers. Are they not over there killing people in Gaza? Genociding them in Gaza? Are they not genociding them in Syria? Are they not genociding them in Oman? Are they not genociding them in Iran? Why? because they all profess faith. Huh? But their professions are false. Why? Because their faith is in soldiers and in standing armies and implements of destruction. The prophet must not therefore permit himself to heed individual explanations. Oh, we came over here to kill them. We should have a two-state country, and it's the Bible, niggas. We get to kill you. Huh? Displace you from your land. Is that fair? Sound like an equal and just creator to you? Or does that sound like a vengeful, wrathful, jealous, warlike, demonic God? Do that sound like a good, loving creator? Or do that sound like a devilish God? They dropped more bombs on Gaza alone, let alone in the first year, just the first year. First 6 months. They've dropped more bombs on Gaza than they did in Dresden. I'm talking about in World War II. They dropped more bombs on Gaza than they did in World War II in Dresden. Let that sink in. They are wiping these people out. They are shooting little kids in the head, per the reports, sniping them. And then going on and saying it's okay. Hey, you know, they could have been a terrorist. Come on, they could have been a terrorist. What if? We'll never know. He must grade them as a whole, whether they manifest below 33 or above 66 without regard to pretensions. Why? Why did I bring it up? Because prophecy is not guesswork. I ain't guessing. Oh, did he guess this for COVID? Huh? Remember we just had Ronnie Wrong, right? I guess they guessed this too. Huh? The inoculation or the vaccination of flesh with poisons or vaccines to save it from poison, bacteria, virus, or disease is to use the battle axe of Satan. Man shall learn the higher law to save by virtue instead of vice. Why didn't your God teach you how to handle the Ronnie Wrong? Huh? Creator taught us. He dropped this in 1881 when there was no vaccines. There were no vaccines. Huh? Let that sink in a second. Huh? That's all I'm saying, man. If y'all got something up out of this, hit your boy with a vortex in the chat, man. We out of here.
Shout out to Cosmon Cow. Cosmon Cow, boy, I'm going to tell you something. He is a problem. He is a problem when it comes to these Hebrew Israelites. Y'all better stop playing. He is a problem. Cosmon Cow is a problem. Creator gang gang.
Yeah, the gang coming. Creator gang coming. Turning up the light and watching boys start running. Let me tell you something, we ain't out here doing nothing. I can tell you scared, boy, niggas stop fronting. It was all in the plan.
Creator gang is crazy. Boy, y'all better pay attention.
And with that being said, all I need you to do is breathe in and let that light in, because I'm Cosmon and I'm out.
We fight as a single, impenetrable unit. That is the source